All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the back nine of round 2 United States Women's Disc Golf Championships. It's our last major of the year. I am so excited to show you what's going on. We've got a lot of birdies, a lot of big open holes, and a lot of wooded holes here at Hawk Hollow, the featured course for our second round. I am Zoe Andyke.
And I'm Paige Pierce. Shout out to the PDGA and the JomezPro Patreons for this coverage. Currently, I'm sitting at 9 under par. Sarah Hokom is at 7 under par. Kristin Tattar, 8 under par. And Michelle Frazer, 1 under par. And if you guys saw the front nine, you saw some moves being made by some of the chase card competitors. Jessica Weiss is at 6 under at this moment. Becky Harris is at 5 under. And Heather Young is at 3 under.
I'm actually playing on a card with Katrina Allen. If you've been watching the U-Disc since hole 7, she's been birdieing everything. It's incredible. Moving on here, though, to hole 10. It's a par 4, 435 feet. We're teeing off kind of, I guess you could call it like an island, even though this would be the world's largest island. We do have an OB creek right in front of us. We're teeing off out of the trees, and we have to come back to the green into the trees. The entire fairway is open. Just don't want to land too far left. And you can hear a little bit early release right off of the tee. Paige finds herself in OB early, just terrible tree kick redirect there.
Yeah, a little bit of slip on the foot, and I should have reset, but, not always do we think of that. Hokom also finds a tree, but it doesn't square the tree. It just hits the branches, so she's going to stay safe on the basket side. Michelle hit in the gap really nicely, though.
Shot.
Full S shot with her Quasar. Quasar? How do you say that one?
I think you said it right the second time. I think it's the Quasar. And we've got that flippy defender that she goes to. Kristin also makes the gap, but lets go a little bit early. Like I said, pinching it to the left, but still a good shot.
Yeah, so with myself going OB and kicking way over there, I opt to re-tee, and now I'm looking to rip this thing and try to get myself an option to save par. It is 435 feet, so I know I'm not going to quite get there,
But you're just outside of the circle, looking to rip it. Well executed, Paige. That was a good re-tee choice. And now Sarah, we have attacking the green with her sidearm, coming in that left side, more friendly side.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more open. Look at all the sunlight you can see through there. So that suits her game well. Kristin's going to opt for the same thing, but with her verdict. Oh, and just kind of came over on it with her wrist.
Good tree kick, though.
Yeah, but she still doesn't kick back far enough. She's going to stay OB over that barbed wire fence. And remember, we get 2 meters off that barbed wire.
Upshot by Michelle Frazer. Tries to find her way in the trees. They're denying it. They're saying, nope, you got to try to putt through us outside of the circle, or at circle's edge.
And this is a look to save par. About 45 feet.
Man, nothing but an A+ for the effort there. And Sarah for her birdie putt. Leaving it just a little bit wide. She's in a safe spot for her tap-in par. Also for a birdie. That was center cut, just a little bit short. The basket is a little bit higher in elevation from where she was standing.
Kristin trying to save par, but does not connect. She will be settling for a bogey as Michelle will tap out.
Nice par there.
And that was really Kristin's first error of the entire round.
Wow, getting all the way to hole 10 on such a difficult course like this, that's pretty incredible. Paige has to take a knee here. She likes being kind of more level and squared up with the basket. That's right. Better catch that, taking that bogey and moving on, clearing her mind for the next hole.
And with that bogey there and Sarah carding the par, the gap will be closing. I'm now only 1 stroke ahead of Sarah, and Kristin will be tied with her as well.
Hole 11. It is a par 3, 306 feet. There's quite a bit of downhill here, going back to the uphill, but I believe the tee pad is still in elevation-wise above the height of the basket. As you can see, the hill and gravity is just going to funnel you down towards out of bounds left. So pure distance shot, everybody's trying to get in the circle. Just stay away from the left side and the OB.
And this is such a good sidearm from Sarah. She's pushing that tree line on the left as much as she can to keep penetrating forward before it hyzers out to the right of the basket. And she's pin high 20 feet.
Giving her a putt. Oh, man, and you can hear Michelle just disappointed in her release off the tee box. A little bit early. Catches the trees pretty high, and I believe she stays safe.
And this is my new Lucid X Suspect. I just got it this morning, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I threw it about 30 times, so I knew how it would fly. It's exactly what I've been looking for, and it was awesome to throw it how I wanted to, and it being exactly how I drew it up, right by Hokom, 20 feet right of the basket.
Wow, look at this park job.
Beautiful, Kristin.
Doesn't like the bogey that she just had to card, so she's coming out firing on hole 11.
And I love how low it is, and she just knows she's throwing it fast enough that it's going to skid up a forward skip, too. Beautifully played hole. I love the read on the green.
You can see it's a tough kind of Anheuser sidearm out of there, and she executes it so well. That's a tough shot. And she's inside of the circle to give herself the look at the par.
Oh my gosh, great
in.
save.
Yeah.
Great save. This
Up
is
and
not
down.
a hole you want to bogey. This one is playing under par, so if she bogeys this, she's losing strokes to the field.
Hokom
Very
for her
clutch save.
birdie bid. And just a little high. Telling her
Telling
putter,
it, sit. You go right there.
And Paige here, lining up her birdie shot. Cash money. Hey, and you know what I like more than a stress-free par?
Stress-free birdie.
Yeah. I was just getting ready to say, you know.
It was kind of stressful, though. I barely squeaked that one over the chains, and right now it's hot. Our hands are having a hard time staying dry from sweat. I have my wheel sack in my hand like it's my little comfort pillow, and we're hungry. We're not used to playing this late.
Yeah, with the round starting at noon, it is kind of tough to time out your diet and how you want to fuel yourself for the round. Hole 12, it's a par 4, 550 feet. There is a fence OB all along the right-hand side, and nothing but what we like to call kind of death if you're too far left. There's a huge, thickly wooded patch of trees that are completely going to guard the basket. OB deep is inside of the circle, so you cannot throw your second shot too far or you will find out of bounds. Paige looks like she's trusting a super wide hyzer here.
Yeah, and this is my
back in
verdict.
bounds.
I'm actually clubbing down on this one, trying to be short because that second shot, you don't want your first shot to land in those trees. So going with a slower disc that won't go too far left makes the second shot quite a bit easier.
Right, like we just saw Kristin let go of it. Again, hanging out over OB, but maybe not as far as she wanted. She's going a little further left, bringing those trees into play.
Yeah, might be out of position unless she can pull off a super severe hyzer on this next one.
And Sarah needing to actually throw at the trees, hoping to land a little before that, finding herself in out of bounds. The flag is down, meaning OB. Michelle choosing for that kind of straight shot with the flip up and trusting her discs. That's an incredible shot to throw.
Yes, it is. That angle control is beautiful.
That right hand turn towards OB, it's a lot of trust.
And again, with that Lucid X Suspect, high and wide. Ooh, and I hit the top of the basket, but it honestly still had quite a bit of speed coming in, so it kicks outside the circle, pin high left.
But safe.
Yes, safe.
Wow, Sarah turning over a slower speed disc here, landing herself inbounds.
Ooh, half and half.
We like that inbounds.
So you see how pinched Kristin is. She has to throw a super severe hyzer, and she throws her justice, which gets a little skip, and she's inside 12 feet.
Great shot, great execution, and trust. Kind of a routine upshot here for Michelle. She looks comfortable flowing through and also landing in the circle.
Yeah, Kristin was probably the most out of position and had the best approach.
37 feet here for Paige Pierce. Just barely short. Kind of reevaluating her putt to make an adjustment for the next one. Hokom.
Great
Cashing it.
save for par after that OBT shot.
You know, to save par again after going OB, it's a good feeling. Hopefully she can take that as a little bit of good energy and power to move on to the next hole. And holding that follow through, making sure that birdie stays in.
And
Good
look at
job.
that. Look at her scores on the last few. I mean, all pars and 2 birdies. She's playing a really clean round. And, you know, if she can connect on some more birdies, she might have a chance at staying on this lead card with her first appearance with so much pressure. This is a good performance she's putting on.
And Kristin cashing in that birdie while Paige pars is bringing a tie with 9 down, moving into hole 13. Also a par 4, 500 feet. This one's tough. The landing zone hopefully has been scoped out by the player. You cannot be too far left, otherwise the entry into this gap is pretty impossible to make it a birdie putt. Again, you don't want to be too far right. There is out of bounds and a thickly wooded tree line. Tough shot here when the landing zone is so small.
Mm-hmm. Kristin going with her St. Pro here, hyzer flip, and lets it go a little too wide. She's going to find that left side like you were just talking about and have another pinched off approach, but we just saw her capitalize on the last one, so maybe she could do it again. And this is Michelle's Blizzard Katana. She told me she's had in her bag since 2012.
Wow. Amazing that disc, that light could stay in. I mean, I'm sure it's a few grams less after that many years. With a putter off the tee here, Paige Pierce throwing the Marshall for a safe, controlled, straighter shot, putting her in good position to attack the green. Great shot.
Thank you.
Sidearm for Hokom here. All that concentration and great execution. Come on back for her. Little bit wide on the left-hand side, but she should be able to still get into the gap. She's got to turn something over here in order to attack the green. And with that, she's got such a good sidearm. I mean, it fades out a little. A tiny bit
more angle would have been good, but then you're chancing hitting that side hill, still coming in hot and getting a cut roll. So I don't know if she could have thrown that much better.
A great upshot there for Michelle. She's just left at circle's edge, just outside, actually. What are you throwing here to attack?
This is my Marshall. It's pretty easy approach. And just a complete shank from myself.
Just letting
unforced
go
error, big time. That was in prime position.
Kristin attacking with her. Oh, man, look at that. I'm not sure if that was her Justice.
Yes, that was her
That's
Justice.
what I thought. I didn't want to call it the wrong thing, but knowing that that's an overstable disc and that she's going to get that nice skip up inside of the circle.
Actually, you know what? I do believe that was her verdict, which is still overstable mid, just a tiny bit less overstable.
And you can see the frustration there by Paige, really hoping to get up and down for that birdie bid.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing, Michelle.
Outside
3
of the
birdies in the
circle.
last 5 holes with putts like that. You're gonna be smiling. Look at that.
And Hokom here for her birdie bid. Taking a knee, which is actually kind of crazy when you're below the basket, but obviously she needed to get away from that tree.
Yeah, and she was inside the circle. I was surprised she got enough power to get it up there. Great bid by her, but better putt from Kristin, carding the birdie here.
And now taking the lead for the first time on this tournament round. This is exciting. We have a serious race here for the top competitive spot in the FPO field. Paige is cashing in on a par.
Yeah, and at this point in the round, on hole 13, Katrina has now birdied from hole 7 on, and she is on a tear from 4th card, making her way up the leaderboard.
It's pretty impressive. Hole 14, par 4, 600 feet even. Quite a bit of downhill, and then ending the last, couple hundred feet uphill. Now you can see the basket location is in a corral. The absolute square that surrounds the basket is inbounds. However, if you're just outside of those fences on the right or left, you will be found out of bounds. guardian tree on the right-hand side. The players are trying to avoid. As you can see, Kristin was trying to avoid it so hard she let go a little bit early, but stays safe, even though the spotter has to run and check it out. Stays safe in bounds.
Yeah, and that's actually one where he put the flag out to the side, like he couldn't tell if it was safe or not. So when we get down there, we're going to have to look at it and make a decision.
Great shot by Michelle Frazer, finding the center cut of the fairway.
This is my Biofusion Defender, my go-to for long drives, overstable finish, reliably.
Giving it that right-hand action, looking for all that comeback. Beautiful shot, huge distance. Has to be among the top distance thrown on this hole. That was a very good shot.
And Hokom using that extra bit of footage over to the right of the tee. Throwing her trace, but kind of, a little too much angle on that one. It's going to find OB. Looking to try to save a par. Can she get up and down?
And you have to land in this corral, mind you. Not an easy shot.
The backside is OB, as is the left. She's going to opt for short right and not jeopardize the OB at all. And
puts herself at about just inside of 70 feet there for a pretty big putt.
And we don't see, but we discussed this one here for quite a while, if Kristin was safe or not. We did rule that she was safe. So this is her second shot. And coming in just past the basket.
And she's attacking, she's safe. So she's like, well, I'm going to try to eagle this. I'm going to throw it in. She probably wasn't thinking that, but I was. Now, interesting spot to be. This is kind of a dramatic ground action for Michelle's disc, but she is in bounds. And Paige attacking and looking like a stress-free birdie right there. Only thing better than a stress-free par.
Hokom now has a lot of distance with this push putt. She's going to actually opt for the spin putt to get it up over the corral. Loses her hat. Lots of power.
She had to put everything into that. Yeah, lots of power, but she just landed safely.
And Michelle lined up the turbo for a minute and said she practiced it just for this occasion, but decided it would be silly, so went with her normal putt and just close, but not quite in.
Yeah, Kristin carding the birdie on this hole.
And that's another fat turkey for Kristin.
Super fat.
4 birdies in a row. She already did that once on the front 9. This girl is getting some birdies out here on this course.
Sarah cleaning up her bogey, and Paige, stress-free birdie. We want to thank all of our 2,117 Patreons for bringing us this coverage. It's so incredible to be able to watch these women. They're pulling off amazing shots. They're at the top of their game. Everyone out there is stoked to be able to watch this. Hole 15, it's a par 4, 654 feet, complete elevation loss downhill hole. As you can see, the gap to approach the green is very, very tight. Player must land in the mouth, or else literally it's pretty much a layup to get in the mouth and attack the green. OB is all along the right-hand side. The creek, if you find yourself down there, is out of bounds.
Kristin going with her Fortress here, overstable fairway driver. Nice and wide, looking for that skip, but just unfortunately a little bit too wide, and she's going to be out of position. She's not really going to be looking at the gaps, so she's going to have to play this one for a par. This is my Lucid X Suspect, throwing it pretty flat and just right of the gap, knowing it will hyzer.
Excellent disc choice and speed. Well done. I mean, in position to attack the green there. It's so important to be in the gap. I can't stress that enough on this hole. It's just near impossible to try to get that birdie if you're not in the gap.
Yeah, and I think left is better than right because it still gives you access to the green. You just have to put a little bit more of a hyzer angle on your second shot. So Michelle will be in good position, looking to get another birdie.
Sarah knows right out of her hands. She's let go of it early. She is definitely pinched off on the right. No chance at the gap. Let's see what she does. Looks like she's actually just kind of trying to get in there with a little overstable disc, getting that nice kick. Well played for where she was.
Michelle here with her JLS. She's opting for a standstill. It is severely downhill, So she's just trying to take a little bit of speed off, but unfortunately a little bit too much, and she's going to leave herself short and on that upslope left of the basket.
Kristin also lining up the sidearm, trying to get as far down the gap as possible. Oh,
ooh,
who
sneaky
cares
gap.
about a gap? Yeah,
Sneaky
let's just
gap.
take it down that fairway. I would still want the birdie, Kristin says. I got a fat Thanksgiving turkey on the table, and I'm looking to make it bigger. Paige is in position here, throwing the Marshall down the hill. Wow, go through the gap. Nice. And it goes a little bit deep, but well inside the circle there. The crowd likes it.
Look at this lie, having to step out super wide, get real low, but still over the rock. This is very technical, and she made it look very easy. She's finding herself about 12 feet short of the basket.
She's in position for her par.
And Kristin now, give it a bid. No.
She gave it just that safe. I'm gonna take a stress-free par. I like it.
Yeah, she's
That's
in the
good
lead.
golf.
Doesn't want to get too crazy here.
Ooh. Gave that one a little run and landed safe.
Yeah, that almost went in a tiny bit more height.
Through the trees, in
All
the
right.
basket, over the river and through the woods. No, just kidding. But Sarah does cash in a par there, which is great for where the tee shot landed. Super smart play. Yeah, Paige taking that birdie, taking a stroke back and tying it up at 11 down. The momentum change back and forth, back and forth. This is good golf. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. We're super thankful that Jomez is here to cover this round. Moving on to hole 12. This is not, or excuse me, hole 16. This is not an easy hole. It's a par 4, 480 feet. The gap is even smaller to get in, and it's pretty far off the tee. Players are going to have to make a choice whether they're going to just crush and try to make it down the fairway as far as possible or lay up to the gap. There's an extreme hill on the left-hand side that will fall down into 17's fairway if you miss or hyzer out at all or get kicked by a tree. OB is only found deep of the basket, so nothing to come into play on the first shot. Paige looks like she just chose, nice, easy layup. Went down the hill just a little bit.
I stayed on the top, actually. Slower speed disc, didn't get too much ground action. But Kristin's opting for a St. Pro quite a bit faster and doesn't quite get it flipped up to flat enough. And she's going to find herself well down that hill. And she will not be able to see the basket on this approach, making it very difficult.
And Michelle turning it over, extra turnover, trying to keep it as safe as possible on top of that hill. Lands it in the woods. Pretty good spot.
Sarah going with a relay here. Hyzer flip to flat. A little bit too low, and she's going to stop her forward progress just before the gap starts even. And this is an awkward lie. Oh.
From a knee, giving it all the power she can.
Man, if she got that one a little bit flatter, it would have went right down that gap. Just to the basket. She's going to be short right side, about 80 feet.
That was a pretty good upshot right there for being in such a hairy spot. The trees are thickly populated here. This is not an easy hole, ladies and gentlemen, all the way up the fairway. Paige with her upshot, making it to the base of the hill. Looks like there's a couple of trees in the way, just outside of the circle there, though.
Yep, little too much hyzer on that one. Kristin from a blind shot gets way down there.
Wow.
She's also just outside the circle, same side of the basket. That was her verdict. And we have some tester putts if we want to connect on this birdie.
And Michelle safely landing underneath for the stress-free par. Wow, hairy spot to be in there. I mean, Hokom's all up in those woods.
Oh, and just hits a late tree, but she's still 24 feet away. So I have a tree to contend with on this one, and I know it's a chance I'm going to hit it, but if I want to hit this putt, I have to challenge that tree. Unfortunately, hit it. Kristin now has a chance to take the lead.
Oh, just pulling it a little right out of her hands. I love seeing that smile. She knows it was an unforced error, and she's okay with it, and she's just going to move on.
Oh, drop her in there, Hokom.
That was big.
Great putt to save par. She wasn't happy with any of her shots on that hole and still saved par. That is a champion attitude right there.
Ooh, and that is a sweet putt. The basket was a good catcher. You know, it was a little left side high, but stays in for her, which, you know, after that early spit out, I feel like the course and her are fair. Paige just leaving it a little high, having to tap out for the bogey. Now, Kristin has taken the lead back by 1 stroke there. Oh, my gosh, we have a tight race. The best kind of competitive golf, stroke for stroke, moving into hole 17.
And right now, we have Paige Pierce and Katrina Allen at 6 under par as well. So they're making a move, trying to challenge Hokom for a spot on this lead card going into the final round.
It's a par 3, 250 feet for hole 17. Tiny gaps. Most people are taking the straight kind of Anheuser or flip and sail, but there is a tiny hyzer gap only a couple of the competitors take.
Kristin with her Claymore here, flipping mid-range, slow speed. She barely squeaks it through and finds herself inside the circle, pin high, 25 feet.
It's a good shot. Just getting out this gap alone is kind of a big feat. You must be online, you know. Releasing it off the tee box and trusting your shot is so important. It's the end of the round. We're getting tired. You must maintain that ideal level of intensity.
Yeah, look at the intensity in Hokom's face. Love the camera work. Hyzer flipped to flat with that relay, but comes over on it a little. It's going to turn out to the left, and she's going to have a tricky approach from there.
Ooh, good stop there. I'm not sure what happened.
My foot slid again, so I decided to stop this time, not let that get to me again.
And that's the gap I like to take. Paige and I actually discovered that during a practice round. And what a good discovery, landing you with that stress-free birdie after that last bogey. That's got to feel good, getting some of that energy back. Oh, man, and that's a tough place to come out of there. Leaving her again in a tough spot outside of the circle. Lining up a sidearm putter at the basket. Going for her. I mean,
nice wrist action.
Yep.
Nice and controlled. And Michelle is going to need to hit this if she wants to continue her bogey-free streak on this back nine. But she decides to lay it up and just take her medicine.
This is, I would say, an extra pressure putt for Kristin. Uncharacteristic for her to miss a lot of those inside of the circle putts. But again, we're on hole 17 with a major battle here. Just left it low. She's carding the 3, knowing that Paige is under the basket and is going to tie it up.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like 5:30 p.m. We're hot, we're tired, we're hungry, and...
Mostly hungry.
Yeah, but we're so sweaty, and I'm telling you, putts like that were very difficult to even like feel the putter come out clean with all that sweat in your palm. So I wasn't super surprised to see a couple misses late in the round.
Conditions are tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at this beautiful hole. What a finishing hole. 18. It's a par 4. Just under 700 feet, 693. You can see the silos and all the farmland. And, oh, look at that huge pull to kind of indicate where the basket is, because there's absolutely no way the player would have any idea. It's being covered by that hill. A lot of downhill and then back up the hill, elevation, loss, and then gain. Everybody's got a different play here. You obviously want maximum distance, but a lot of players were opting to try to hit the flat ground. Paige hyzered out onto the hillside there. Still a blind shot up to the basket, and not an easy one because the basket's located on such a drastic hill.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite designed open holes that I've ever played. It's wide open, but it's very difficult with this elevation. It's not just like it's uphill or downhill. There's side hill action, lots of rollaway potentials, and it takes a smart play to decide where you want to go. I actually really love Kristin's play over there to the right.
Too.
You can see the basket from there, which makes it a little bit less intimidating on the second shot.
And some flatter ground, good footing, a little bit more of an opportunity for a run-up.
Absolutely.
Still a distance shot.
Michelle again with her Blizzard Case Art, and I want to speak for a minute about her disc selection. It's something that you don't see too often, especially from the top FPO ladies. We're mostly throwing max weight stuff, and a lot of people enjoy the Blizzard plastic, the lighter weights, and it's awesome to see that she's making it work out here at the top level.
Yeah, and Hokom knows right out of her hand. She let go of it super early, but somehow still stays safe. I'm super happy to see that she's inbounds, giving her a chance to, get up and down for her par.
Yeah, and she kind of laughed that one off. She knew that should have been OB, and with it staying safe, she's
stoked.
Yeah, she's super excited.
Again, Kristin can see the flag and mostly see the basket from here. It's not an easy landing to stick it on that side hill and not get a roll away. So she's trying to play it wider. Hopefully that came back in bounds because those trees, the base of them are out of bounds right next to that creek. I think it stayed in.
It did. This is my Lucidex Suspect. It's farther than it looks with that uphill. And I actually, from my view, thought I parked it, and I still came up 40 feet short. So this one is very difficult, even though you can see the pole.
This is a tough shot. Sarah has to play like the gravitational pull. She's throwing it way high of the basket, watching it come down, beautifully laid on the hillside there. Great shot. Stress-free par. And Michelle also getting herself a really nice bid at the par. I know that a lot of players thought that they had stuck the landing there and rolled out of bounds or rolled away from the basket. So those were great shots to have had stay. Kristin is playing the safe play. She's knowing she's had a solid round. This is a tap-in par, stress-free. Paige has a bid here for the birdie and is obviously running at it. Just missing right. Landing safe. Landing safely and not rolling away. And carding the par, which is still a great finish, coming in at 11 down, tied with Kristin at 11 down. Michelle maintaining her focus. Just a little bit high.
She kind of shakes her hand off, maybe some sweat on her palm. Sarah needing to hit this to save par.
No way, basket. I watched it, but I still don't want to believe it. Sarah's still having a hard time believing it. That was a good putt. Unfortunately, we get bad breaks sometimes in the game. Kind of have to just accept it and move on. Tough way to finish the round with bogeys. However, there's still one more round at the United States Women's Disc Golf Championships, and we've got a race. Kat has shot an incredible score. She lit it up with, I believe, 7 birdies in a row with a couple other birdies. Looking at the leaderboard, like I had mentioned, Paige 11 down, joined by Kristin. Hokom's finishing at 5 down, Michelle 1 down, and we're going to have a change-up for tomorrow's lead card.
Yeah, we are. Like you said, Katrina shot hot 6 under. She's going to jump up 14 spots to tie for third with Paige Pierce, who also carded 6 under and moved up 8 spots. Other mentions are Rebecca Cox, who is at 4 under, and Heather Young, who had a great showing at Idlewild, and she's also at 4 under. So subscribe, you guys. Tune in for the final round of the final major of the year. It's going to be super exciting, lots of action, and
at L'Oriella Park, make sure to tune in for round 3.